So hi everyone, in today's GATE lecture or GATE video, we're actually going to take a look at the patterns and types of questions that would be applicable to your GATE 2026 preparation. We're actually looking at the recent modification that came in 2021 and 2022. Okay, so it will be very much applicable for this particular year's preparation. So first let's start with the exam pattern. Okay, so I'm sure by now you're aware that your GATE exam usually consists of 65 questions of a total weightage of 100 marks, right? Now there are three sections that are there in your exam paper. There's the general aptitude section, there's the common part, and there's your optional part, which is part B1 or part B2. Okay, so your 65 questions are split across this with their own respective weightages. How is the 65 split up? Your aptitude section consists of about 10 questions of the 65. Your common part consists of about 39 questions and your optional part consists of about 16 questions. With respect to the marks, it includes 15 marks from your general aptitude, 60 marks from your common part and 25 marks from your part B1, part B2. Okay, so this is the basic thing. In general, what you should know is that your GATE paper would have 1 mark questions and 2 mark questions. Okay, so there is negative marking for certain sections where you will be, it would be a minus of 0.33. So if it's a 1 mark question, 33.33%. So if it's 1 mark, you get minus 0.033. If it is 2 marks, it will be minus 0.66. Okay. So right now, your general aptitude section, like I said, has 10 questions. So 5 questions of 1 mark and 5 questions of 2 marks. This is how it has been so far. Okay, we have like a weightage of 15. And if the basic common preparation that I would advise for anybody is that you pick up the past 20 years of papers, look at the aptitude questions. Read a little bit because there's a verbal aptitude component that's a very significant part of every year's question paper so far. Almost 3 questions out of this 10 come down from the verbal aptitude. Up to 3 questions I've seen. Okay, so improve your vocabulary, look at a few questions, and then you'll be actually able to do decently in this part. You'll be able to answer 4 or 5 questions on your own. And with a little preparation, you can go up to say 12 or 13 marks out of this 15. Okay, so this is actually where your scoring can help you get a better rank. Okay, now coming to the common part, again, this also has a permutation combination of your 1 mark and 2 mark questions. Okay, so there's no definite pattern. Okay, these are number of 1 mark questions, these are number of 2 mark questions. So that can be varied. And the third one, okay, so the general advice that I would give anybody that's preparing for GATE is to prepare both equally. Okay, so how do you prepare for this? So your common part also has architecture and planning questions, but the most basic level. So you'll have construction management, you'll have basics of transportation planning, etc. But your part B1 or B2 would be more advanced questions of the same thing. Okay, so you'll be looking a little more into deeper planning or advanced planning questions in part B2 and advanced architecture, history of architecture questions, etc. in your part B1. Okay, so my advice would be to prepare for both, and whichever looks easier for you on the day of the exam, attempt that. Okay. Now let's come down to the types of questions. So like I said, each section actually has 3 types of questions. Your MCQ questions. Okay, so your MCQ questions. Okay, so we have 4 options, right? You know how all of these toggle buttons work. So there are certain buttons that look like this, right? So when you see these buttons, you automatically have to select one of it. Okay, it will be mentioned on the question paper whether it's an MCQ or an MSQ. Your multiple choice question is where you select one. Okay, whereas your MSQ or multiple select question is where you can select multiple. Okay, so this could be one option, this could be 2 options, it could be 3 options, or it could be 4 options. So this is any one. Okay, this is any 1, 2, 3 or 4, but it will be mentioned. The only advantage that you're going to get between both of this is that in your MCQ questions, you have a negative marking, whereas in your MSQ, you do not have negative marking. So even if you go wrong, you will not be penalized for it. Okay. So your MSQ. So like I said, your 1 mark questions will have a negative marking of 0.33 if at all you get it wrong, and your 2 mark question will be a negative of 0.66. Okay, so the logic is 1/3 of your mark. Okay, what 1/3 of whatever the question's mark is. The third type of question is your numerical. So in numericals, again, there's no negative marking. Okay, so both of these sections do not have negative marking, whereas this has negative marking. Matlab, your MCQ questions will have negative marking. So your numericals usually are of the 2 mark typology. Okay. In MCQ, like I said, you have these kind of buttons, whereas your MSQ would be like a checkbox. Okay, click all that applies. But like I said, it will be mentioned in the question, so do not fret about it. And your numericals would be just a dash. Okay, and they would probably give you. It could be like an integer 0 to 9. It could be negative. It could be in decimals. It could be in fraction. Certain questions or certain years have actually added a little more clue to it. They've given, take the calculation up to 2 decimals or something of that sort would be given in the bracket, but that's an addition. In general, and numericals do not have negative marking. Also, in your gate paper, or when you're applying or when you're giving the exam, you will be notified of how many marks is it in total, or that particular question, is it a 1 mark question or a 2 mark question, and if at all you get it wrong, how much of a negative effect would it have. Okay, so in general, I would say attempt all your numerical questions, get your concepts clear. Okay, go through your past question papers. There's nothing better than that. And the different types of numerical questions that can appear in all of your chapters, just try and attempt it. And now let's just go back to the exam pattern, and I'll just tell you what kind of questions appear in each of your category. So far, whatever the gate questions have appeared before, your general aptitude section usually consists of MCQ, okay, which has negative marking also. Okay? There is no fixed rule on whether an MCQ or an MSQ should be asked. So you can have an MSQ in the future, but so far we've not had it. So you most probably it would be an MCQ type of question. Your comment part can have all three. Okay, so you can have MCQs, you can have MSQs, and you can have numericals. And the same applies to both of this. Okay, so your part B1 and B2 and your common part can have all the 3 types of questions. So your MCQ section alone would have negative marking. These 2 wouldn't have negative marking. That's the only advantage you have. Okay. So I hope this was useful for all of you. We'll meet in the next session. Until then, if at all you want to know more about the types of questions, more on the syllabus, more on the kind of portions, which areas to concentrate on, which areas to emphasize on, and some practice questions and some more detailed coaching, then I would suggest you look up Safal Together's GATE coaching program, which is available online. Okay. Thank you all for today. We'll meet in the next video.